right, guys. Hey, what's going on? This is Brettigans and Steeler Rob. Welcome to the Stat Heads inaugural podcast. What we're going to be doing today is pretty much just going to go over a quick synopsis of team by team, division by division, give you our division winners, and then we're going to go over a quick gambling little bit at the end there. So it should be kind of cool. Go over some spreads and stuff. What we think are win you guys some money. If not, I don't care. We'll figure it out. So, anyways, welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining in. We're really excited about this. We think this is going to be a really cool podcast going forward. Can't wait to get this out and read comments and talk to you guys out about this. So, anyways, okay. So we're going to start with the NFC East. Might as well start with the Cowboys, right? I mean, I just feel like they're. Sorry. I just figured that's just off the top of my head. They're. I mean, one of the best teams in this division. We'll go and start with you before we get to my nonsense. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, the NFC East for me, it's an interesting division. I think the Eagles are pretty much the top of the division and the team to beat, coming off the Super Bowl win. And the fact that they even added to their team that won last year. Now, starting the season now with the backup quarterback, but you have a Super Bowl winning backup quarterback in Nick Foles starting the season. So we'll see how he does tonight. They've got, the first game of the season tonight on Thursday night. He hasn't had the best of training camps or spring games here, but we'll see how he starts this season. I think they're expecting Carson Wentz back by like week 3 from everything that I'm hearing.
Right.
They are my pick to win this division. I think Washington's going to have a pretty good year this year.
So that's interesting.
Their defense is looking pretty good this year.
I think that's a very interesting point, that Carson Wentz thing, because I mean, there's so many opinions going on Foles and Wentz and who's gonna do what, who should start, should they trade Foles for what? I put a lot of emphasis on this wide receiver crew because I was a huge J.H.I. fan, and then he just shit the bed, I guess. And then, I mean, Darren Sproles, at a young 74 years of age, I think, I don't know how he's still doing it, but he's still going to have to, I think, take a pretty big load out this year, even if Ajayi is successful. Jeffrey's, a little bit banged up. So Nelson Aguilar's going to be your number 1. So, I mean, no offense, Mike Wallace is going to be your number 2, who runs one route. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on, Shelton Gibson and your boy Mark Sweden. We'll see what happens. I'll say Zach Ertz surprised the shit out of me last year. I thought he played his ass off.
I mean, he's definitely one of the top 3 tight ends in the league. He's coming off a great season.
It's crazy to say that too, right? It's just, I mean, you think tight end that position was so deep for so long, and I'm not saying it's not anymore, but I don't think.
But you don't have the superstars that you used to have.
Right. And we will get to that later. Packers and Jimmy Graham. But anyways, as a Cowboys fan, I'll say this about the Redskins. I'm obviously a little bit of a hater on them. I love Alex Smith. I think he's awesome. I like a healthy Jordan Reed. But other than that, I'll throw my hat in the overrated Josh Doxson. Not a big Jameson Crowder guy unless you're garbage time. That's not a lot of stuff on there. The one guy I do fear on the entire team is Ryan Kerrigan, who you said brought about their good defense this year. That dude puts a fear of God in me. I don't know why. Yeah. He's done it for so long. Very professional guy. We will see with that team. It's going to be interesting. The Giants, on one hand, as I look over our producer Stretch over here, who's a Giants fan. I don't know if you guys know that. If you didn't know that, you're not friends with Stretch. Look, I'll be the first to say I'm not on the Barkley train. I'm not saying that I think he's going to suck. I'm just throwing my hat out in the ring and saying I'm not sold on him yet.
So me being a Penn State fan, obviously I'm a diehard Barkley fan. And I do think he will put in the work that needs to be done. I think he's a workhorse. I just hope he doesn't get run into the ground there. That offensive line is garbage. They've gotten better since last season, but that's not saying much because they had the worst offensive line in the league last year. We'll see if Eli can use him to spread the ball around more, quick passing out of the backfield. He is a great pass-catching running back.
Okay. I'll give you that one
They
for sure.
They do have the weapons if the wide receivers can actually stay healthy. I think they lost all 3 of their starting wide receivers last year, so that didn't help. But we'll definitely see.
It should be really interesting. I'm actually not as big of a hate. I think, and God, he's gonna hate me for saying this, but I'm just gonna get this podcast off to a roaring start. I feel like Eli gets a lot of what I call that Romo stuff. It's just cool to hate him. Like, you can talk, as much as you hate him all you like, but I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say you can't argue with rings. But it's hard to argue with rings. Like,
yeah.
I'm not, that's and especially, it's not like you can put him like, oh, well, he beat some shit. Like the Niners in 94 kicked the absolute Christ out of the Chargers. But Steve Young actually set a Super Bowl record that year, which still stands 6 touchdowns in 1 Super Bowl. Look it up, bitch. But I think that's interesting that you can't even blame Eli for not being a good team. And it's the fucking Patriots.
Yeah.
I mean, the Patriots fucking twice. So you can say they won the defense. The defense won it every single time. Whatever. Someone still has to throw the fucking ball. I give him all the credit.
I do think Eli will have a better year. I'm not as sold as like he's a top level quarterback in the NFL, but
no,
I think he gets a lot more hate than what is deserved around the league.
Right.
When you have quarterbacks like, in my mind, like Joe Flacco, like he's got the ring, but I've never seen the talent.
That's
there,
a great
like,
point. Yeah.
On a consistent basis at the very least. But Eli's been consistent for the most part through his career. I think he'll bounce back this season some. I think their defense has actually improved a little bit.
Oh, they got rid of Prince, right?
Yeah.
I thought that guy was going to be such a fucking stud coming out of Nebraska. I was like, damn it, this guy's going to be awesome. But, we'll see what happens. Really quick, back on, we'll just go touch the Cowboys really quick, get on the next division. This team pisses the shit out of me off. They just, I don't understand. Like how so we lost Dez. Say what you want about him, whatever. I thought he meant a lot to the team. Obviously, he didn't mean a lot to any other team in the league. He's still fucking unsigned. But this could be a very, very interesting team going forward. I don't think there's an absolute chance in hell we win 14, 13 games, but probably not even 12. I think we could possibly sneak in with 11 on an actual, I don't know how to say it, just like an actual all-around team, because we don't really have, other than Zeke, we don't have any superstars, unless you want to count offensive line as superstar. But like if you have, we don't have anybody to throw it to. Alan Hearns is not number 1 wide receiver. Terrence Williams is our number 2 receiver, and all he does is fucking block. Cole Beasley is a damn good slot receiver. Michael Gallup, we'll see what happens. But I mean, someone's going to have to take the pressure off Zeke, and it's not going to be Jason Witten this year. You got Jeff Swain, Blake Jarwin. We'll see what happens. I actually like Rico Gathers to swipe in and actually be a mid-season starter at tight end position, but. This is going to be.
Did I not just see he got in some trouble off the field?
That's neither here nor there. Okay. So he'll be fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Jerry will make sure he'll be on the field. We'll see what happens. We got Travis Frederick, obviously our starting centers. Come out. We'll see what happens. I'm getting too into this. I apologize, but it's an overachieving defense. Really quick. Sorry, it's a very overachieving defense that I don't think can. Perform as well as they did last year, which scares me. And with Dak having no wide receiver help, I don't think it's going to be as good. I think 7-9 to 8. I think we finished 8-8. I'm hoping for 9-7. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean Dallas. I mean they've got the offensive line there. They've got Ezekiel Elliott. They've got Dak Prescott that can run the ball too as well. They have that. The problem comes in, where's the wide receiver? Where's the tight end?
Right.
Any type of offense that he could generate with his arm. On the defensive side of the ball, they've just had years of, I feel like, moving backwards a little bit.
Sean Lee hasn't been healthy, but you're right.
I mean, that's a big part of it. And I do love Sean Lee. I think he's an unreal linebacker.
I wonder why.
I mean, he is from the factory of linebackers, linebacker U. I mean, he is from there. But besides that, he has been great in the NFL. I mean,
he really has been.
He's a great defensive captain for you guys. Like
when he's on the field.
Yeah.
All right.
So next division.
Next division, we're going to go NFC North. So we're going to start out with the Packers. I honestly, I'll keep this short and sweet. I think Green Bay is in a lot of trouble, and I'll let you take this one.
I will go ahead and say everyone's so hyped about Aaron Rodgers coming back, and don't get me wrong, he is a top quarterback in this league, but it's almost like the Dallas thing. Where's the weapons for him? They've got no one at wide receiver anymore. I mean, they've gotten rid of everyone.
And for all you Cobb, like, big guys out there, like, Cobb is not good. He's not good at a 2. He's a damn good 3, but he's not a very good 2 wide receiver. He's a shitty number 1.
And they're basically asking him to be the number 1 there. I mean, Randall Cobb, no one would know his name if it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers and his years there in Green Bay. I mean...
Right. I mean, other than hardcore SEC fans, you would be hard-pressed to find a big fan. Really quick, before we get to the next one, I did want to break, because I brought this up earlier. Do you know who their tight ends are this year? Because they do like running a lot of 2 tight end sets. It's Jimmy Graham and Mercedes Lewis.
Yep.
What fucking year is it?
And if it was 5 years ago, that would be...
That's what I'm saying. It's fucking...
That would be
what
so
fucking stretch is it?
dangerous.
2018?
I mean...
2018, last time I checked. These guys... Look, they understand how to get open. I don't think they can get open. Jimmy Graham is 8'9". And so is fucking Mercedes Lewis. I think this team is in big trouble. I don't like the defense. I love Clint Dix. I think this team is in a lot of trouble.
I think they are too, and I think a lot of people are high on them. To me, they're on a downswing until they can add some offensive weapons. They need to add some people on the defensive side of the ball. I know they tried to go out and get Khalil Mack, went inside their division to Chicago, and I think that tremendously helped Chicago. I hate to jump to another team like that.
Let's go ahead on.
Chicago, to me, is the up-and-coming team out of this division. I think there's a chance that they might finish second in this division with a second-year quarterback in Trubisky.
Good.
They're going to have one of the best defenses in the NFL. And I'm not saying, and I would have said that before adding Khalil Mack. And now you add one of the best linebackers in the game, if not the top linebacker in the game.
I almost hate that you said that, because one of my main things this entire fucking podcast was going to just be praising the shit out of the Bears. I hate the Bears. I don't like the Bears at all. That was like my one dark horse of all dark horses this year, which we'll get to also later. If you are a gambling man or woman, bet the fucking house on the over wins on the Bears. That's my guarantee of the season.
I like that a lot.
It's unbelievable. Like this team should not be as bad as they were last year. Say what you want about Trubisky. If you take all the time, which no one has, to run the fucking analytics on this guy, you compare him to all these other players who should not have been good with their analytics. This guy, I was not a fan of his coming out of college. I wasn't even a fan of his last year. Sorry to write some numbers. This dude should have a fucking, not a monster season, but he should be, I don't think he'll lose games for them. I think it'll be on the health of his, we talk about offensive weapons. I think if Jordan Howard can stay healthy and Tariq Cohen stay healthy, because I know they like to play that flip and flopping shit in the tandem running back. But if one of those guys goes down, I don't have confidence in Ben Cunningham coming out. Allen Robinson is not a #1 wide receiver. Sorry, Jacksonville. Taylor Grable is not a wide receiver. We've seen Kevin White for about 15 seconds in the NFL. I don't mind Trey Burton.
I think Allen Robinson staying healthy is a big part of that wide receiver.
He's not a one guy, though. You're not wrong with saying he's not a #1 wide receiver. He would be #1 on the Cowboys, and we have his counterpart.
If he hadn't been injured those years in Jacksonville, he was putting up those numbers as a #1 wide receiver with in my opinion, and we'll get to Jacksonville later, but a subpar quarterback in Blake Bortles.
He's still better than Flacco, but you're right. Go ahead.
I'll agree with that, but that says a lot. But yeah, I think with a subpar quarterback, he was putting up numbers. We'll see what he can do this year. It's always difficult coming back off of injury.
Of course.
I think they made a great move in signing him. I think he was one of the top wide receivers out there in free agency for them to go out and get Trubisky. Yeah. We'll see how the season plays out, but I am high on Chicago this season to have a pretty good year. I think there's a potential. It's so hard because the NFC is so tough. Like the last year, I think they're going to be
tough.
I think they're going to be very tough this year with wins and making it in. I think it's going to probably take 10. I think it'll take 11 wins, but maybe you could squeak in with 10 in the NFC this year. But I think they're going to be one of the top teams in that division. Now, moving on, I think the team that's going to end up winning this division is Minnesota. And I think a lot of people are down on them. Not really down on them, but they're overshadowed by Green Bay somehow. And I don't think Green Bay is like we talked about, going to have a season like
Right.
everyone thinks.
We're joined by our good friend here, Stephen Pruitt. Stephen, do you have any take on the NFL this season?
I just need to know who to pick tonight. It's even right now.
Do you want to go ahead and get on that really quick while we'll just do one quick bet here. Okay,
right,
so what's the spread here?
Tonight, Philly's playing Atlanta. This will probably be posted after the game started, so hopefully the game's not too out of hand and you can jump on it live if you catch us late.
But if we called it, you listen to this later. Fucking listen to us next week, bitch.
I'm throwing $100 on it.
So we're talking Atlanta, Philly. I think everyone's making a big deal out of Philly's going to have an off game coming off the Super Bowl high. They're going to have the presentation tonight and everything.
No win still.
The line is straight at a pick right now. It's moved all the way. Philly was favored by 4, but when the lines originally came out, everyone thought that they'd have their starting quarterback. And, it's going to be Nick Foles. Everyone's been talking about how terrible his preseason's been this year, how they're in a rough spot if Wentz can't come back and everything. To me, this is a toss-up game. Of course, I'm a degenerate, so I'm probably going to end up making a play on it tonight. But to me, honestly, I would try to stay away from this game for the most part.
I think this is pretty clean and cut. I think this is Vegas begging you to pick the Falcons, who almost everybody has as their Super Bowl favorite. I hate the Eagles, but just reading what Vegas tries to tell you things. They don't see what you're trying to do. They're trying to tell you what's going to happen, and you just have to either read it or correctly or incorrectly. And in my opinion, I think this is. I think Philly takes it tonight.
That would be my pick tonight too, as well. If I was going to put a play in it, which I probably will, so I'll probably end up on the Eagles tonight. But
anyway, Steven, I hope that helped.
To me, one of the big parts of when you're playing a game or whatever, if you watch national media, ESPN, NFL Network and stuff, they have their agendas. Vegas is able to get whatever information they want out. If they're so dead hard on a game, they're trying to influence the public. The public will bet that side heavy. The best bets take the other side. Side with Vegas.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, there you go.
Eagles tonight.
Eagles. All right, so hopefully tomorrow when you're listening to this, they didn't just get the fucking Christ kicked out of them.
I'm going to come in here
48-0. Lost this podcast before it even got off the fucking ground. Anyways, so back on track. In NFC North, quickly moving along. I think the Lions are where the Packers would be. I can't fucking phrase this. The Packers are where the Lions were 4 years ago. Like it's like right after you lost your big guy Calvin Johnson. I think it's gonna be a really down year. The Lions, they're just your classic 8-8 team, right? They don't have enough on either side of the ball to really scare anyone. Than that.
It's truly terrible to have one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league. Very good quarterback. When he had the weapons, he was putting up tremendous numbers.
Right.
They lose Megatron. There hasn't been anybody comparable, and it's not like they try and go out and add anybody really. Detroit's just that forever long 8-8 team.
Right.
Like they have the quarterback to go out there and try and build around and everything, and it just seems like they, not having a running back that can go for over 1,000 yards in a season for was it 15 years?
I think Reggie Bush might have been the last one to go over 1,000 yards.
I mean, it's insane.
I don't know. But anyways, yeah, the last thing I'll say about the Lions is that look out for Tease Tabor, their corner, and my boy Gerard Davis, coincidentally both Gators. But look out for them, especially Tease to have a really great year this year against a division that really lacks stud wide receivers. I think Tease is going to have a really great year. Last time we briefly touched on Minnesota.
Real fast before we were rudely interrupted by
Jesus,
Steven.
what an asshole.
Just had to get his pick in tonight.
Minnesota, what do you say?
I think they win this division easily. I think they're 11-12 win team easily. Could potentially 13-win team. They were, a player or two away from being in the Super Bowl last year.
Right. If you got a healthy Cook.
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows what's going to happen? They don't have a lot of weapons. I think Kyle Rudolph is a damn good tight end. I don't really think it matters who's on the football.
I mean, that defense is just so
exactly where
tremendous.
that point was going. It's all about your team giving up 11 fucking points a game. That's insane.
And I think you might have gotten rid of more of a game managing quarterback, and you've upgraded now with Kirk Cousins. We'll see.
We will see.
Everyone was but he was in Washington for years, and they added weapons here or there, but they added a bunch of people on the tail ends of their careers.
Right.
That, they were great wide receivers at one point, but when they came there, it was at the very ends of their careers. So it's kind of hard to say what he's going to be. I mean, Washington definitely felt high on him to franchise tag him twice at the quarterback rate, which is, very high. But we'll see, because I'm interested to see how well he does. I think they could definitely potentially be a Super Bowl contender out in the NFC. We'll have to wait and see how, bringing in a new quarterback to a team, that's always a difficult transition year one. But that defense is going to be solid again this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving on to the NFC West now. So look, the Chiefs, man. So you lose Alex Smith, and right as we were definitely not talking about you, our fucking boy Steven brings over what I can only assume is fresh Aquafina shots. That's what they look like.
Thank you guys for doing this here.
No worries.
Let's just hydrate real fast.
Cheers to Castaways. Cheers to traveling drunks. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Is it going to be every week?
That's
as
what
long
the
as
plan
Philly
is.
wins tonight, this will be every week.
Yeah, if they lose, we're going to have to look.
Right. We'll see what
You
happens.
need a water, boo-boo? Got you.
Woo! That was referred to our producer. Anyways, whose our main name was Stretch.
So the NFC West.
NFC West, yeah. Okay, so you lose Alex Smith. People are very high on this team. I've always liked the Chiefs. What do you think
We're
they're
going to have to freeze right here. You jump to the AFC with that one. NFC West.
You can edit that out, right?
We're going to have to.
It's fine. Or you can keep it in. I don't care. Sorry.
So,
NFC West. So
Cardinals, Rams, 49ers, Seahawks. This is going to be the division that I'm going to love trying to watch the 4 o'clock games for. It's just, everyone's everywhere. Now, do I think hands down the Rams are the best team in that division? Absolutely. I think they end up winning that division. To me, it's going to be interesting to see what the Seahawks do. They've been on a little bit of a down tear.
Who knows?
I think they're going to be right around middle ground in that division. You got Garoppolo with all this hype after winning the last 5 games of a winless team last year after.
Who knows?
I'd like to see what he's going to do. There's so many questions up in the air with this division in my mind.
Really? I don't mean that bad. I'd say it's very interesting.
Well, not like questions on who's going to win the division, but what are you actually going to get from San Fran? What's Garoppolo actually going to do?
Not a lot.
It's so hard to tell.
That's honestly, in my opinion, I think that's also a fairly easy bet. Is the under in whether the Niners are going to be wins the season. I swear to God, I feel like I saw them at 8. There's no fucking way they win. I understand they played the Seahawks twice this year. Every fucking year. I feel like they're almost like that Rays Yankees thing. No matter what, the Rays are always gonna have a decent record against the Yankees. Seahawks sweep San Francisco this year. I can't wait to see the fucking Rams implode this year. They may go 15-1.
Wow.
They might go 15-1, but you heard it here, probably 1 million, because I'm sure there's a lot of fucking Brett haters out there, or haters like Brett out there. And Brett haters, let's face it. But I think that it's right there. I think that locker room is a fucking shit show. And the second that there is one thing, with their first loss, maybe not even first loss, when they first get the shit kicked out of them in the first half, I think that shit hits the fan. You got Peters, Sue. You got a young quarterback who is not going to lead that team. Sorry, Goff, he's just not. You got a young head coach who a lot of people do flock to, Tomlin, but he's a little unproven here. I just don't know who is going to step up. Gurley can be quote-unquote loud, but I don't think he's going to quote-unquote step up. They don't have a veteran wide receiver that I in my opinion, is going to be the big. Who the fuck is going to step up and tell everybody to shut the fuck up? and let's if we just focus, we're going to crush this division.
I mean, if Aaron Donald steps to me in that locker room, I'm pretty much just going to be quiet for the rest of my life.
All over the place. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
right down my way.
I mean, we'll see, but I am high on this defense.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald is an absolute beast. And
arguably the best defender in the league.
I'm not a ridiculous Sue fan because of all his, it's not even off the field issues. He acts like an idiot on the field.
That's actually very well put.
He takes penalties that obviously are completely uncalled for, stomping on players, kicking players. Like,
you can say, Ryan P, all you want, that whatever, that's how you play the game. I get that your motor is going at 1 billion miles an hour. Actually, I don't get it because I never played football. I'll be like, I'm a hypocrite if it comes to this. But you have to know at some point, Jake Delhomme, that it's not okay to grab someone's neck and then do a 180 and throw them. Sorry to interrupt. Keep going.
No, you're good. I mean, that's exactly where I was going with it. Now, I do get playing football. I did play football. You do have a motor that's starting to go, like, when you're in the heat of the battle and stuff like that. But he's done stuff where people are just laying on the ground completely after, like, when the ball's alive, you're going 1 million miles an hour. There's no excuse for some of the stuff that he's done, like stepping on players way after the play and acting like he didn't see him. Like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to take my size 15 shoe and step on this guy. I didn't see his leg there.
Right.
I think the league has a way of, like, sussing stuff like this out. I think they haven't done a great job with it because this is an instance where a player doesn't give a care about another player's safety. And I think there's a few players around the league with like this, very few in numbers, but there's some that are completely over the top with crossing the line. Burfict being one. I won't go down that rabbit hole.
We don't have enough time.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think you're 100% right on that.
I think him playing with Aaron Donald is just an insane, like, who can block that? Like,
Nobody.
I mean, Steelers have the best offensive line in the game, and I'm still scared of
the what?
Best offensive line in the game. I know you want the Cowboys, but like,
I just look at facts. But yeah, if you want to,
well, I mean, facts would be there's only 2 teams over the last 2 years that have 3 Pro Bowler offensive linemen: the Raiders and the Steelers. Both years. So, just gonna throw that one out there. But regardless, okay, I'll rephrase if you want me to. One of the top 2 offensive lines in the game. My other one would be the Raiders, but Dallas had 3.
We don't have 3 standouts. We have 5. So we don't have we
were they all Pro Bowlers?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
We're at 5. They can't outshine the other person, so they give it to the best person on any other team. It's fine, whatever. It's not like we have made Pro Bowls. Anyways, so I guess just to recoup in the NFC West, Cardinals are going to fucking suck. That team is going to be garbage. Seahawks probably terrible. Maybe 8-8, 9-7 best.
Another thing that I'd like to see there, the UCF player with one arm getting announced this week that he's going to, or one hand, that's what I meant. Thank you.
Good for him, man. Yeah,
but being announced as the starter, he's on the team with his brother. Awesome story there, Interesting story to follow through the season, see how he does, see how he adapts to the NFL speed.
Yeah, shout out to you, Shaquem, man. Congratulations. I'm not a big UCF guy. That's really, really awesome. I'm sure he'll be listening this week.
Yeah.
Okay, so AFC East. So we got Rob's favorite, the Patriots.
And why do we go to the other teams? Because this division's been one team for 15 years now? Like,
I really don't mind. I really, truly don't mind the Bills. I actually kind of like the Bills. Their defense is going to be solid. They're going to be on the field all fucking year. Shady can do whatever he can do. He's not going to create a bunch. The Dolphins, man, what is going on here? I really don't like. I don't mind the Dolphins. It's just what the fuck is happening? Like I don't get that. I think the Dolphins go 6-10.
What's sickening is the Dolphins are going to start how they start most of the last few years. They're going to win a few games.
2-1
to start the season, and all the fans in Orlando are going to come
break
out.
A bar with his palm of his hand, slapping them on top of him.
And then about week 6, they're going to finally start to tell off, and then they're going to
2-4. And then season's over. Get rid of Tannehill for the 18th fucking year.
Yeah, I mean, Tannehill, I don't think is as bad of a quarterback as a lot of people like to say, but I don't think he's a great quarterback.
He is at best a complimentary quarterback.
I agree with that, but you also lost a great weapon in Jarvis Landry. I don't know.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
I don't think he's as good as people say either, but we'll see. Anyways, yeah, and then the Patriots. I mean, you have your best wide receiver is going to be suspended for the first 4 weeks of the season. I don't think one fucking person thinks that they're going to go 2-2 in the first 4 weeks. I don't even know who they fucking play in the first 4 weeks. I don't think they go 2-2. They probably go 3-1.
Well,
They went 3-1 with fucking Garoppolo, and everybody lost their fucking mind.
We'll get to that Patriots game week 1 coming up here shortly. They face off against Houston to start the season.
We'll get to Houston too.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. So
one quick thing, real fast on the Bills before moving on.
Yeah.
Great defense, like you mentioned.
Absolutely.
Problem's going to be they're starting Nathan Peterman. I mean, I have no idea what these coaches are thinking, other than let's just sacrifice this entire year. And if that's the plan, I condone it. Bill Josh.
If they come right out and say it.
But fans are going to be outraged after 2 games, and he's got 12 picks in 2 games. They're going to start calling for Josh Allen. This team, we'll see. I mean, I still like Calvin Benjamin. We'll see what happens if Josh Allen can get in there, because to me, before preseason and everything, when the draft happened, I thought he was the best quarterback coming out of college. And definitely the most ready to start.
Right.
But we'll see. I mean,
that's a conversation. We'll have to come back to that because we don't have enough time for that. I would love to come back to that point. But anyway, so there you go. That's a great point about the Bills. I totally agree with you. So the AFC North, which doesn't have very many good teams, it has one good team.
I mean, there is a team that has been known.
Cleveland Browns, baby. This is the moment you've all been waiting for at minute, wherever the fuck we're at, 28 or something. This is. Let's just start with the Browns. We'll get to your stupid fucking Steelers.
We can start with the Browns. You know what? You're going to be surprised. I'm actually kind of high on the Browns this year.
All right. That makes kind of like 1.5 of us. I don't think Jarvis Landry is as good as everyone says he is. I think he's not a very good number 1 wide receiver. I think he's a pretty good number 2. He's the best number 3 in the league. But I don't see it. I thought that speech on Hard Knocks was the dumbest fucking thing ever.
Oh. On day 3? How fake is that? If you've got to get your team that amped up on day 3, I know you didn't play football, but
no, it's fine.
Coming in day 3 of spring training, these are professionals. Oh my gosh! I want to rip Hugh Jackson for what he did in that first episode of Hard Knocks. He looked like the softest coach ever. He basically had Todd Haley telling him what he wanted to do, and he had the defensive coach telling him what he wanted to do. Mr. Let me go, start a pot so we can injure a quarterback.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with that. That is pretty nuts. I just feel if you say the phrase, what the fuck do you say 20,000 times? That's
you gotta earn your stripe.
No.
Which I thought was also high school bullshit, by the way.
Oh, it is.
They took the stripes off the helmets.
It's contagious, bro.
Oh,
it's contagious, bro. You could say it 25 times. We all know what the fucking word is. I didn't like that at all.
I love the one where he was like, if your calf's falling off your leg, you need to be out there practicing.
Look, I'm not saying that's a bad mentality to have. Absolutely not. I know that sounds like I'm saying that.
They haven't had a winning mentality there in years.
That also pisses me off because it's not like it's like when teams say, "Oh, the Steelers are okay." Let's not take a shot on you.
Go for it.
Let's say that the Cowboys are 0-6 against the Redskins the last 6 Thanksgiving games. Guess what? It's not the same Redskins team. It's not the same Cowboys team. So for you to tell me that, oh, it's been the same way here ever since. Look, I'm not denying that Jarvis Landry. You're saying the Browns have not been good for a while. Don't fucking come in here having played 0 snaps and telling me exactly what this Browns organization is all about. And yes, I'm a little bit salty about it because I do like the Browns a lot. I just don't think you can judge based on that. It's not the head coach's fault. No, I'm not a big Hugh Jackson fan. I was the first couple of years. That blows my mind.
He turned me around in the later episodes. I don't know if it's because he wasn't used to dealing with the Hard Knocks crew and being on camera and stuff.
I've never watched one episode.
But watching it, that first episode, it was a hard turnaround because he just looked so soft. And Todd Haley, at one point you had a practice going on, and you had Todd Haley, or the defensive coordinator, Greg Williams, right?
Yeah.
The pay players to injure people.
For the Saints.
Yeah, he was yelling at the defense, he was yelling. Todd Haley was yelling, "Good team." I'm fucked up right now.
Right.
I'm not. Tongue twisted here. Todd Haley was yelling because the quarterback got hit in practice. Everyone knows you shouldn't touch the quarterback in practice. No, red jersey.
Red jersey, either one.
Yeah. So he's yelling. Greg Williams yells back at him, "Well, if you don't want him hit, then you need to protect him. The offensive line needs to block him." He's yelling back and forth. Todd Haley's yelling at him, and I'm just like, you know what? Competition is good with a team, and it is like when you're on a football team, it's almost like two separate teams, your defense and your offense. They are almost like two separate teams. We've had this conversation when Todd Haley was with the Steelers. I hate him as an offensive coordinator. I think he is, let's just do these quick slant passes, let's do these quick dump offs. He runs so many screens, it's just unbelievable. 4th and 1 going for it, let's roll out and throw a bootleg pass. 4th and 1, let's go ahead and throw it to Le'Veon Bell 6 yards behind the line on a toss out. I'm referring to the 2 4th down plays in the Jacksonville game in the playoffs last year that deserved him to be fired. I've been calling for it for like 4 years now.
Nice.
It's finally happened. We'll see what he does with this young offense. I think Tyrod Taylor is a good quarterback. I think they brought in a quarterback at the right time because as much as I've seen of Baker so far, he's actually changed my mind on him because I thought he was going to be another wash quarterback that they drafted. I actually think he's probably going to be a good quarterback in the future. We'll see. They brought in the weapons this year. I'll give them that. They actually went out there, spent money, and brought in weapons. They have a solid defense. They've had it for a couple years now.
I appreciate you saying that. They were actually 14th in yards per game given up last year, which considering they were second.
0-16.
I wrote 3 notes, and that's 2 of them. They were second in time on the field, like most time on the field next to the Bengals.
Which will make a big difference if they can put some offensive drives together.
Right.
I think they've added enough offensive weapons. Not only that, the rookie wide receiver, Callaway, if he can stay away from trouble, that was interesting to watch on Hard Knocks because they actually had the film of when he got pulled over.
Yeah,
he didn't tell the team that he got in trouble or anything.
Right.
So we'll see what comes of that. I think he could be a good wide receiver, but having Josh Gordon as your mentor is not always the best thing. We'll see how he is coming back because no one really knows what he's going to play like. That could be a dangerous trio. That is a very dangerous wide receiving core if they're all up to par where they should be or where everyone would think that they are.
Yeah, we'll see what happens to that team. The Ravens, I think, are absolute garbage. I don't like that team at all. I never have.
Obviously, I've never been a big fan of them. I think they're going to struggle again this year. I think they have so much money tied up in Flacco. They haven't been able to find. They tried Mike Wallace. That didn't really work there that well.
Crabtree's not going to be much different. John Brown's not going to be much different.
Who's their running back? Honestly,
Collins, is it Allen? Is it who fucking knows? And Nick Boyle is a damn good tight end, but their defense is looking pretty fucking good. I will give them that. Defense looks good, but that team is destined for a 4-12, I think. And then Steelers look really, really good.
Well, real quick, we'll touch on Cincinnati to wrap up the division. I think Andy Dalton's been overrated for years. He has a great wide receiving core there now between John Ross, AJ Green's been there for years. We'll see. They can never really seem to stay out of their own way either. They get in trouble off the field. They get in trouble on the field doing stupid stuff. They're willing to employ Burfict and all these players they consistently get penalties. I won't touch on the, hit a few years ago in the playoffs against Antonio Brown. But
No, I got you. Yeah, it's not a great run.
And Marvin Lewis is just notorious, that medial of the field, 8-8.
yeah, I don't know. That's another thing
To
I can
me-
touch on later, but go ahead.
To me, honestly, like I was saying, I'm actually kind of high on the Browns. I wouldn't be surprised if they finish second in our division this year.
I can see that.
I mean, they have the defense for it. I also didn't touch on the tight end that I think's really good there, and Njoku, yeah.
That dude's awesome.
Drafted
He's
him
gonna
in
be
some
really,
leagues.
really, really good.
Yeah, he's a big dude. But yeah, moving on to the Steelers, you know, we've got so many off the field issues. Obviously, it all came to light this week. Le'Veon Bell hasn't shown up yet. It's Thursday. If he doesn't show up by Saturday, he loses $1 million or $900,000 every week until he shows up. But to me, I think our offense is fine without him as long as James Conner doesn't go down. I think we can be a more passing offense. I'm so excited that we don't have Todd Haley as an offensive coordinator anymore to limit that offense. I don't think him and Ben ever got along. I think that was a major problem on that team for years. We'll see what happens this year. He likes his new offensive coordinator. It was his quarterback coach, Randy Fitchner. We'll see what happens. I think the defense is young and growing and starting to get better, especially the secondary, because that's where we've been lacking for years now. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, I think we're a playoff team easily. Our division kind of dictates that too. Right. I think we can compete for the top spot in the AFC. Steelers have proven, though, in the years past that we don't have to win the AFC.
Right.
You know, to win or to make it to the Super Bowl. I think we are one of the top Super Bowl contending teams. I think it's a great year for us because I think New England's not what they've been in years past without having the wide receiving core that they've had.
It's like this is probably the 14th year they've heard that, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. It should be interesting division. AFC South. I think it's hard to argue against the Titans here. Jaguars, man. I don't really trust them. I also the Jaguars I think have the best defense in the entire league. Let me start by saying that. I think the best defense in the whole league. But the Texans I don't like at all. I'm not a DeAndre Hopkins guy. I don't know why. I've never really got that whole vibe from him. I'm not a Deshaun Watson guy. Don't like him that much. Lamar Miller, if he can stay on the field, kind of. Alfred Blue, their backup, maybe. We'll see what happens. You got J.J. Watt back this year. We will see what happens.
I think that defense is solid. I'm the opposite on you with Deshaun Watson. Granted, he's only played a handful of games in this league. I think he has insane chemistry from those games. And once again, I'll say handful of games, but with DeAndre Hopkins, I think he can be a great wide receiver. I think he has been a great wide receiver in this league in years past when he's had a healthy quarterback. He's never really had that great of a quarterback other than Deshaun Watson last year. I think he's going to be a solid pick this year in fantasy leagues. I actually took him in some of mine.
There you go.
And this is all saying Deshaun Watson's coming off a knee injury. Some people never come back the same. I mean, I'm thinking he's going to come back all right, but you never know. And also, he's only played 7 NFL games, so he's still technically, in my book, in his rookie season. I mean,
of course.
We'll see. But I think that defense is pretty good. I think it's a weak division,
absolutely.
Honestly. I mean,
everyone's going to say about the Colts. By the way, really quick before we move on to the Colts, do you know who Deshaun Watson's backup is?
I do not, because they've gone through so many quarterbacks in Houston.
Brandon Whedon.
Wow, is he still there? I didn't know they kept him.
Did you know who the third string quarterback for the Dolphins is?
Who?
Brock Osweiler.
Oh, jeez.
Anyways, the Colts, I'm...
But what's he complaining about? He's living in Miami with like millions of dollars from the Broncos and...
Colts, I don't really see...
I mean, Andrew Luck, you got to see... We have no idea what he's going to be like. You got to see...
Division winner's going to be 8-8, right?
Yeah.
This division's terrible. They knock each other out. I think the Titans probably might win it.
I think they're a decent pick. We'll see. Week 1, they're playing the Dolphins.
Yep, and it's going to be all on Derrick Henry's shoulders. They don't have DeMarco Murray anymore.
So we'll see how they do. But this division is going to be a toss because I think the Texans can take it if Watson comes out and plays where he is. You never know. Andrew Luck at one point was a top 3, 4, 5 quarterback in the league. You know, But who else do they have around them? The defense improved a little bit, but we'll see. It's hard to tell what they're going to be until you see a healthy Andrew Luck on the field actually throwing the ball around.
Correct.
So we'll put a pause on how they are, but
There we go.
I think you got a good solid lock on that division.
Titans.
Yeah.
I agree. AFC West, as I tried to explain before, the Chiefs. The Chiefs. I've liked those guys for years, mainly because I was such a big Alex Smith guy. I'm not. I don't know, man. I'm not quite seeing it this year. I mean, you got Andy Reid's still there. I like Andy Reid, even though he was with the Eagles for so long. Do you give this to the Raiders? Do you give this to the Chargers?
To me, I actually have the Chargers winning this division.
Yeah.
I think they've improved on defense.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers has always been a solid quarterback regular season. When they're in the playoffs, it's a different story. But I do think they can squeak out enough wins to win this division. The Chiefs, it's hard to say. New quarterback coming in. I mean, that defense is still solid. It's been solid for a few years now.
Right.
We'll see what happens to them. Broncos also solid defense, but
who's still in the fucking ball?
Who's on offense?
Yeah.
We'll see. The Raiders, it's Gruden's first year. He's basically shipped everyone out in the first year.
John Gruden is the worst head coach ever. I'll say it right now. That guy is awful.
I don't know that I can say ever, but I am not as high of a fan. I can't believe they gave him a 10-year contract and all that money. I don't disagree with him sending out Khalil Mack. He wasn't willing to report and everything else. Why not? They got two first rounders for him. That's a great value.
Right.
And from the Bears, which you never know could be top 10 picks. I mean,
he's something else, man. He's this big quarterback guru. He had that. Brad Johnson was really slinging that fucking ball. Sean King, his draft pick, man, that guy fucking crushed. You guys remember Bruce Gronkowski? All those 3,000-yard seasons he had, or even fucking Jeff Garcia, who he brought in. What a fucking stud! That dude is an awesome quarterback judge. He is so good. I'm
always the one to say that with Tampa, that was Dungy's team. He deserved that Super Bowl.
I'm not even talking. I'm talking everything afterwards. All the moves that Gruden made. Dungy did not. Dungy got fucking Peyton Manning. Dungy knows what's going on.
I think Dungy's a great coach. I think he's always been overvalued. You watch his quarterback camps over the years, some of the quarterbacks that he's been highest on are some of the ones that have been complete busts.
I like Sorgi, believe it or not. I love that guy. He has voice box broken by, is it Clay Matthews? Ohio State versus Wisconsin. He was getting off of a play. Anyways, so he crushed his voice box and still called the rest of the game by hand signals. Look it up. Anyways, this division is going to be very interesting to watch. It might be the most competitive division in this year. So, anyways,
it's definitely possible. Yeah.
Really quickly, you want to go to the bets here?
The Week 1 games?
Yeah, Week 1 games.
We can run down each one of them real fast.
We'll just do a quick spread.
We already touched on the Thursday night game, which is just
Thursday night game. We're done.
Hopefully the Eagles pull it out so we can actually come back next week. Next game, 1 o'clock on Sunday. Steelers versus your Brownies. Our team's going against each other.
It's in Cleveland. I think it's going to rain.
It's in Cleveland. I haven't seen a weather report yet, but it wouldn't surprise me. What would you think the spread is?
I'd say Pittsburgh by 11.
It's 4.
11? Or 4, sorry. 4,
yeah.
Jesus.
Which also shocks me. But here's the disclaimer that I'll throw out. I'm not going near this game. Obviously, I will bet against my own team because, honestly, when you lay a bet, you bet with your wallet. You don't ever bet with your heart.
Right.
If this was Week 4, I would have an insane amount of money on the Cleveland Browns at this line because this is just screaming to me that they want money on Pittsburgh. Vegas wants the money dumped on Pittsburgh.
I was going to say it's almost opposite. I think that there's too many people betting on Cleveland.
There is a ton of people betting on Cleveland's win total over, and they're betting on them to actually win the Super Bowl at ridiculous odds, too. and this is the attention that comes when you watch Hard Knocks, because Hard Knocks has a great way of building you up and making you look like you're going to be. I mean, Tampa.
Cowboys been on it twice. We need to do dick.
Tampa was the team last year, and we all see how that worked out with Jameis Winston eating the W. And
yeah, I don't. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so I think Steelers. Sorry, every person that I've ever known in my family. Just to win money, I think Steelers win that by probably 10.
And cover. If I'm forced to pick this game, I would say take the Steelers. History dictates, like...
And Le'Veon Bell won't be there. So.
He will not be there, but that offense is good enough. 4 points, you're just getting so much value, I think. Like, you're taking a team that has in Ben Roethlisberger's career, he's 33-3 against the Browns.
Again, not playing the same Browns team, but...
I get that, but...
Or the same head coach, or the same quarterback, or yeah.
It's the same head coach over the last 2 years, so it is what it is, but... All right, moving on to the next game, 1 o'clock, San Fran at Minnesota. Minnesota's favored by 6.5. It opened at 4.5. It's gone up to...
Interesting game, because I don't think Minnesota can score a lot of points, and I don't think the Niners can score a lot of points.
I do not have the over-under in front of me, but...
No, I just meant as far as the 7.
No, but actually I was thinking about the under for that game because...
Under there, and I'm going to say Vikings.
Yeah.
I
think if you're going to bet this one, I think you have to take the Vikings week 1 at home. I think a lot of people are overvaluing Jimmy Garoppolo's
all that pressure on him week 1.
5-game win streak.
Right.
Yeah. So not much on that game, not really playing it.
Excellent.
Moving on, Cincinnati at Indianapolis.
Jesus Christ.
The Colts are favored by 2.5 here. I actually like the Colts to take it. To me, it just seems like a setup game. Like, you've got Andrew Luck coming back in his first game at home. Right. I think it's just one of those storyline games where it's like Andrew Luck comes out and wins his first game.
I like Colts as well.
You know, Cincinnati's not... They could pull it out. From what I'm hearing, the public money is on Cincinnati. We'll see how it turns out. 1 o'clock, Buffalo Bills at Baltimore. 7.5 points. Baltimore is favored.
Are you shitting me?
No, it opened at 4 and has pushed all the way up to 7.5. I think this is completely because of Nathan Peterman starting. Give me the 7.5.
Give me the 7.5.
I'm going Buffalo. I think Baltimore is not near as good. Everyone always holds them to having that great defense. I don't think they're as good as they used to be. Jacksonville at the Giants. Jacksonville's favored by 3. Our producer over here can't stop smiling. I'm sure he wants us to go one way. I'll let you start this one, Brett.
Man, I am really tempted to say the Giants. That's so tough, though, because like Jacksonville probably might not even give up a point but a field goal, but they might not even score. Man, that's tough. Honestly, I'm not saying this because he's here. Honestly, gun to my head, I think Giants.
I like the under in this game, and I love the Giants +3. I think Saquon Barkley comes out, makes an impression in his first week in the NFL.
He's going to have to make a hell of an impression against that fucking line. Calais Campbell is fucking 2 men in 1.
As long as they can get him on the outside, he doesn't have to worry about that line.
He's not a speed guy, though.
I mean, he can get to the outside and break the edge. We'll see.
He's going to have to be a pick number 4 overall. Sip.
Pick number 2 overall.
Shit, sorry.
Yeah. Tampa Bay at New Orleans. 9.5. Opened at 7. New Orleans in New Orleans versus Tampa.
Division games are always tough. They're traditionally close. I take the Saints. I'm just such a Buck hater. I don't trust that team at all.
Yeah, you think they're going to double-digit win? It's possible. To me, I'm on the other side of this one. I like the 9.5. I think a lot of people are like, Jameis Winston's going to be out. They do not have a bad backup in Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's played pretty well for them.
I don't mind Fitzpatrick either. You're right.
So
it's Drew Brees at home, right?
Yeah, it is Drew Brees at home, but also Mark Ingram suspended for the first couple games this year.
Yeah, Kamara sucks.
So I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they don't have a quality backup, but they do like to run both of them. You gonna look up whether Ingram or
no.
but I just think it's too many points. I think the Saints win. I think Tampa keeps it close or backdoor cover. I could see this game being a 16-point game. Tampa punching one in with 2 minutes late against the Saints defense.
Yeah, that should be an interesting game. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I just hate betting against what's his face, Drew Brees at home. But
so another 1 o'clock game. Houston at New England. The spread's 6. Opened at 6.5.
New England.
See, I really like Houston here. Interesting fact: the team that has lost in the Super Bowl is 2-16 against the spread in Week 1 of the NFL season.
Again,
I know you hate these.
That means
anything
nothing. If it was the same team every year that lost, then yes, absolutely. Same team, same year.
Interesting enough, the two teams that actually covered the spread was New England twice. But
no, I'm not laughing like
2-16, like trends tend to be trends in the NFL for a reason.
All right.
Moving on from that, Tennessee, Miami. Tennessee is -1 at Miami.
I was really hoping that this is going to be more so I could kind of maybe oh, Miami might stand a chance. They keep games close in Week 1. Fuck that. Tennessee's going to fucking stomp. Now, Tennessee's a very young team led by very young players. So, when they get popped in the mouth, let's see how they respond. It's going to be hot as ball sack. But I like Titans here.
Okay. I'm opposite for you on this one. Miami's got a history of winning games early in the season, starting off good.
No, I got you. Yeah, absolutely.
I think they actually win this one. It's at home. I think, Tannehill coming back. I think they're able to pull this out. Tennessee's young, like you said. We'll see what happens. This is kind of a game that I would stay away from, but if you force me to pick a side, I kind of like Miami.
Yeah. It's almost one of those games they're kind of asking you to bet Miami because Tennessee's so well.
Yeah. So the next one, 4 o'clock game, Kansas City at the Chargers. Chargers by 3.5 at home. So I think for this one, I actually like the Chargers not only to win, but to cover the 3.5 against Kansas City at home. I know Kansas City blew them out in both the games last year and swept the Chargers. I just think this Chargers team's actually going to come out and win this division this year. I think they're able to compete. We'll see what happens. It's Week 1. It's a tough game to call.
This is a really, really tough game. I don't have a call. Gun to my head. I was really going to say Chargers because Chargers blow more games late than anybody ever.
They always seem to be, they're like a team like the Dolphins up early in the year,
right.
Have a winning record, except they take it later in the season than the Dolphins do, and then somehow miss the playoffs last week of the season.
I'll take Chargers now. That's tough, though.
All right, another 4:25 game, Seattle and Denver. Denver 3-point favorites.
Shit. I think both teams are awful. I'll take Seattle with the points. That's all. I'm not saying they're going to win. I'll just take Seattle with the points. If they win, great.
Field goal's good there. I mean, to me, yeah, I think gun to my head, I got to take the points there. This is another game that I'm just kind of going to stay away from. A lot of Week 1 games are so hard. You've got no data from this season.
Right.
Like how you don't like to talk about the previous seasons and stuff like that. It is that case. It does work that way.
Well, if it's 2 years past, you're saying they're 1-0 against the past 1 year, then yeah, that makes sense to me. But
so next up, your Cowgirls playing the Carolina Panthers.
This game scares the shit out of me because I don't know what Panthers team I'm going to fucking get.
Panthers -3, and that makes it interesting to me. That it just seems.
That means you should pick the Panthers.
No, to me that just means that I should put my money on Dallas because there's no reason.
That's so funny we're on the opposite, even though we weren't. No, that means to me because everyone's going to want to pick the Cowboys.
With 3 points, to me, I think Carolina overall is a better team in the public mind. I just think that, with the 3 points there, I got to roll with the Cowgirls as much as I can't stand them. But In Carolina, them only being 3-point favorites, that's just suspect to me.
I'm not saying I don't think we're going to win. That's Vegas telling me that I think Carolina's
I'm hearing the public money is on Carolina. So that's me saying I need to take the other side. Everyone's talking about what an explosive year Cam Newton's going to have. He might have it. 425 moving on. Washington Redskins, Arizona Cardinals.
Who gives a cunt?
Cardinals favored by 1. Don't really like either side of this. Gun to my head, I take Washington, but I really don't like it week 1. They got to travel all the way to the West Coast.
I mean, it's not like they weren't.
It's week 1, so it's not like they're on a short week. Or
I like
they
Alex
played
Smith
a game.
in close games. In my opinion, I'll take.
Yeah. All right,
Redskins in
Sunday Night Football, Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers to start week 1. Packers favored by 7.5. Give me the points with Chicago.
Fucking Bear. This might be my guarantee pick of the fucking week. And I understand who the quarterback is for Green Bay. Bears
I think they've
plus
improved
7.5.
enough. Another thing that I like here is the under. I don't have the number in front of me. I like the under in this game.
40. I was going to say 44.5. That seems way too low.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, but I would bet the under in this game. I probably will bet the under in this game. I do like the Bears. It is in Lambeau, but I think 7.5 is
I don't even give a shit.
too many.
They could play in Aaron Rodgers' backyard. I don't think this game is. I don't think they're going to win.
All right,
is there a second one?
Huh?
Is there always like 2 Monday night
No,
games?
there's 2 Monday night games. That's Sunday
Oh,
night.
sorry. Go ahead.
So first Monday night game, Jets at the Lions, and I'm going to go ahead and say we could just bypass this.
Lions.
Yeah, I mean, Lions are 6.5-point favorites, but really...
They'll win by 25. So
what do you know about the rookie quarterback with the Jets? To me,
the Jets' defense is awful.
Yeah, to me, this is a hard pass on everything. I don't want any part of this. Monday night game, Rams at the Raiders. Rams 4-point favorites. I think, and as much as I am high on the Rams this season, I think playing in Oakland week 1, Monday Night Football, that is still one of the best fan bases for now until they leave that city. I say give me the points. I think the Rams win it, but I think they squeak it out with a field goal
1, 2, or 3,
late.
yeah.
Give me the 4. I like Oakland to keep it close somehow. John Gruden, I don't like him that much as a coach, but he has had all offseason to prepare for this one game, his coming out game. To me, it just is another storyline that they can put out.
Sorry. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I hate Gruden, and I really think that the Rams are overrated this year, but it really pains me. I really want to say Raiders. But every single time that they start this, I swear to God, every first week they fucking suck. But whatever, I'll take the Raiders to points, and I'll pretend like I didn't do it. But
I did realize I think we skipped over the NFC South. So if you want to touch on it quickly.
Oh, was that the
Atlanta, Carolina, Saints, Tampa? We've kind of
really
touched on them
quickly?
in
I
the
mean,
games.
it's probably going to be Atlanta. The Bucs are fucking always overrated. The quarterback is terrible. Mike Evans is pretty good. They have no running game, in my opinion.
I have to go with you with Atlanta. I think the Saints are possibly a playoff team.
They don't have enough on defense.
Yeah, but they're able to put up enough points. That's
Right.
been their MO. I'm not saying that they're going to win the Super Bowl because you have to have defense to win Super Bowl.
That's not sure the Rams didn't, but either way.
Yeah. I do think that the Saints will be in the mix for that division. Who knows what Carolina's going to do? They're so up and down off of Cam Newton.
Cam's either going to throw 5 touchdowns or 5 picks.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Who fucking
insane. But
And that's not a team you want to bet on. There's no fucking way. It's going to be the Falcons. Anyways. But, all right. Well, that about wraps it up.
We definitely went a little longer than we thought we were going to for week 1, but we had the whole breakdown.
We'll edit this, I'm sure, later. But anyways, hey, seriously, thank you guys so much. I really look forward to this podcast going forward. It's going to be a lot of fun. we'll go week to week with recaps and stuff after that.
Real quick before we wrap up, do you want to say what your 3 picks of the week are? Because we're going to each have 3 picks for the week, and then we're going to keep a record on it against the spread, too. So
again, I'm only saying this because you can edit this, but I mean, we're going to be able to edit a lot out of this one. So this is going to be about an hour and 20 minutes. We're going to be edit this down to about 40.
So for me, for week 1, give me the Dolphins at home. Also give me the Bears plus 7.5.
You mean like the Dolphins to win at home or with the spread?
Sorry,
+1, right?
It's +1, yeah.
Bears spread?
The Bears plus 7.5. And I will take the Giants plus 3. That's actually the biggest game that I like this week. I think week 1 in the Meadowlands, I think Saquon Barkley, that offense is going to be able to spread the ball around and maybe pass the ball fast enough so that they can play with the half-decent line that they tried to scramble together this year. Their defense has improved a little bit. I think Jacksonville's riding high coming in and off the season. Last year, they played terrible against all 4 of the NFC opponents that they had. So they do not do well against their NFC opponents. I know you don't like breaking down last season's records and stuff, but there are trends for a reason, and they.
No, if it's
to me,
year to year, it's fine. It's 14 in a row, like you know.
Yeah, I get that.
I will say my 3 will be Lions over Jets, 6.5. That is going to be a fucking slaughter. I'll say, man, as much as I hate to say, I really like Washington over Arizona +1. And then give me Jesus, I hate having
Bears
these games.
at Lambeau.
I was gonna do that. I just
about that. You
that
seem
plus
kinda high on
7.
that.
I'll do I'll Patriots -6 over Texans.
Oh, okay. I was
Those
on
would
the
be my
other side of that, but we'll see how we turn out.
Right.
Please tune in next week. I had a great time hanging out with Brettigans here. We'll keep it a lot shorter next week. We were just breaking down the full season here, but
I'm sure they won't film or air this whole thing. But anyways, yeah, thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it. Look forward to doing this a lot more in the future. Good luck with your picks this week, and we'll see you next time. All right, thanks so much. Bye.